Hey doc, you're working hard fixing smiles, but let me ask you a question. Are you afraid to look at your student loan lender's website and see how much you currently owe? If so, it's time to fix that. I believe that we humans experience more anxiety when we try and push the cortisol-producing things out of our minds. In this case, I think we are only doing more brain damage trying to push the student debt out of our minds as opposed to just spending some time developing an actionable plan to get rid of all that debt. Personally, I've noticed a significant reduction in my stress associated with my student debt once I settled on a plan that would work for me and my family. I think we all need to find the plan that works best for each of us on an individual basis. Initially, it was my newness to student loans that made me think that they were this complex and overly difficult concept to understand. But once I dug into my loans, I realized that the options weren't as confusing as I had once thought, and my initial trepidation started to fade. To that end, nowadays in my mind, there are two ways to tackle our student loans as a dentist. Number one, we can pay them off as quickly as possible, or we can go for government student loan forgiveness. Obviously, both options have pros and cons, so the decision that's best for you, again, will be a personal one. Today, I just hope to provide some clarity about both options so that you can again choose which is best for you. Option one is the most simple, so let's start there. This is paying them off as quickly as I can. So this is when you're going to just throw every spare dollar you can at your loans. If you're going to make this choice, you won't be waiting on any government programs. So by not having to wait on any government programs, there also won't be a tax bomb surprise. There is one catch though. If you are going to want to pay off your loans as quickly as possible, to make this work, you're going to need to maintain serious discipline and as much cash flow as possible to get those loans in your rearview mirror. To me, and according to the White Coat Investor, if you're going to do this, you're going to want to continue to live like a dental student. You're going to have to act like you still only have $60,000 or $70,000 a year and deploy the extra $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 directly at those loans. According to a recent blog by the White Coat Investor, many docs that do this can actually pay off their student debts in 3 to 7 years. So that's pretty quick if you ask me. Now, option two, this is setting up for some type of student loan forgiveness, and you'll have to do this by selecting a loan repayment program that offers forgiveness. So generally speaking, that's either PSLF or income-driven repayment, so IDR type programs. Once you select a plan and you've been approved, you're just going to keep making minimum payments on those student loans as you prepare for loan forgiveness. This sounds great, right? But wait, remember the tax bomb. Just very briefly here on the tax bomb. So after your loan is forgiven, you're going to owe taxes on whatever amount is forgiven. So in most cases, how this works is the amount forgiven is viewed as income now by the IRS on that year's tax return. So let's go over a brief example. Let's just say you earned $100,000 in this past year working as a dentist. You have $50,000 left over on your student loans, and that's going to get forgiven. Now your new taxable income on this year's taxes is going to be $150,000. So the $100,000 you earned plus the $50,000 forgiven. If you were a W-2, you probably already paid your taxes on the initial $100,000 you made, but now you're going to owe marginal taxes on that extra $50,000. So this is still way better than owing somebody $50,000, but on the case described here where you get a $50,000 loan forgiven, you might owe in the neighborhood of $15,000 in taxes right then and there. Now the money that you owe is to the IRS. It's not to some student loan provider. So this isn't something to take lightly. The IRS is really good at collecting what's owed to them. Moreover, many dentists have more than $50,000 forgiven, so the tax bomb can get pretty big pretty quick. So I would suggest consider being an educated associate, save just $150 each month, throw it in a high yield savings account, and just have this be your account in preparation for your tax bomb. Just briefly, there is a silver lining. Not every forgiveness program will trigger this tax bomb. Generally, the rules are that you have to always have worked in not-for-profits. I haven't really seen many dentists that can qualify for PSLF. This is more our physician colleagues that qualify for this that work in not-for-profit hospitals. So I don't want to dive too deep into the different plans in this video. We'll do more on that in a future video, but just know that you'll either need a PSLF type or an IDR type program to make this work. So again, most dentists are going to have to go through the IDR type plan. These are going to necessitate a 25-year loan forgiveness. So you're going to be making minimum payments for a long time. So keeping that minimum payment as low as possible has got to be our goals. So before we dive into that topic, let's just briefly break down some tax lingo to get you on the right path. So you'll often see the letters AGI, which stands for adjusted gross income. So this is your total income after all deductions such as your student loan interest. And your AGI is what will increase in the year of your student loan forgiveness. Remember that 100 to 150,000 for the 50,000 that was forgiven. Additionally, if you're married, as you're probably aware, you can file jointly or you can file separately. Filing jointly usually saves you money on your taxes, but if your spouse either has big deductions themselves or a large student debt, then sometimes filing separately can be beneficial. The last thing in regards to taxes, if you live in a community property state, the rules all change. Be sure to speak with an accountant on this topic. Full disclosure, I currently file separately with my wife. She's a physician, so we both carry student loan burdens in excess of $200,000. We live in a community property state. So after speaking with our accountant and working with the professionals at Student Loan Planner, we came up with a plan that'll work good for us. So if you're new to this topic, you're not able to get a grasp on everything based on what I've said today, reach out to the professionals at Student Loan Planner. They have an Instagram account, Student Loan Planner, and they also have a website, and they'll help you understand this confusing intersection of taxes and student loan payments. So again, I know this is confusing. They're very helpful, so go ahead and get in contact with them. Loans don't have to control our lives. We just need to choose a strategy, stay consistent, and soon we'll be smiling debt-free. Please comment, do you prefer to pay off your loans quickly? Comment quickly. Or do you prefer to get government forgiveness? Comment forgiveness. Let's start the debate on what more people are doing below. In the meantime, and as always, stay drilling, my friends.